And there it is.
And here we are.
We are live. How is everyone doing out there today? Today is Friday.
See how you had to check that.
To make
check
sure.
the date.
Well, I wanted to make sure.
It's September 22nd, 2023. 9/22/23, because yesterday was September 21. Who listened to that song yesterday?
I did.
By Earth, Wind, and Fire, right?
Yeah. No, I totally listened to it yesterday because you were listening to it, and that's why I was listening to it.
I mean, we got to listen to September on September 21. Now, admittedly, I did not know why it was going viral on TikTok, and Ray had to tell me.
And now we know. So welcome, everybody.
Welcome.
My name is John Gardner. This is my wife and law partner, Radlyn Mendoza.
Hey, guys.
We are the immigration law firm Gardner and Mendoza. And every Friday from noon to 1, we come onto a Facebook Live and we simulcast with TikTok. Hello, everyone joining us on TikTok. And we bring you immigration law updates if there are any. We did last week. There are none this week. And most importantly, we like to answer your questions. So if you have immigration questions, you can get them posted in Facebook. You can get them posted on TikTok, and we just take them in the order that they come in. And be patient if you're waiting for your question to be answered. You know, a lot of these questions are questions that we hear a lot. And so, you know, we take our time with each question because we want to make sure that we're going through it thoroughly, because other people may be listening to it and have a very similar situation. I will warn you that what we do here is not legal advice. It's for informational and educational and entertainment purposes only.
Entertainment, yes.
Yeah, it's not.
It's a fun time, guys. 12 to 1 hour.
Yeah, you cannot have, if you've got an immigration question, you have an immigration case, that's not something that can be answered in a short little paragraph question here. In fact, if you want your questions to be legal advice and you need to talk to a lawyer, even a lawyer is going to need a lot of time to really dig into the facts. Any lawyer out there who tells you they can give you, 10 minutes of their time and give you some advice on it, I would be very careful with that.
Absolutely.
Because these are complicated issues. Even if you think it's pretty straightforward, there may be some things going on that are really complicated. All right.
I think we're all good here.
What are we doing outside? Everything's...
Here we are. Okay. We are located in Virginia Beach. For those of you who are tuning in from other parts of the United States and of the world, our brick and mortar office is located in Virginia Beach, Virginia, on the east coast of the United States. And because we are an immigration law firm, we serve clients all around the world. For immigration law, it is federal, and so all of the laws are applied in the same way in all 50 states. I mean, of course, we do have certain decisions that are made based on the jurisdiction, and maybe it just applies to, people living in the Ninth Circuit, for example. But generally speaking, for the most part, immigration law is applied the same in all 50 states.
Yeah, so, wherever you are, we can help you out. We have clients, like Radlyn said, we have clients all over the country. We have them all over the world. And she mentioned that we are physically located in Virginia Beach on the east coast of the United States. And so I've been looking outside because one of the things that comes with living in the middle Atlantic states and anywhere in the Southeast, for that matter, in the United States, is once fall rolls around, it also becomes hurricane season. And so we've got our very, very first tropical storm brewing, and we're starting to see the wind to kick up here and kind of keeping an eye on things. So if for some reason we just go black and there's nothing there, you'll know it's because we had a power outage here. Okay?
That's right. We are in our studio right now, and we had to turn the lights way up because it's
dark outside.
It's a little gloomy windy out there.
And one of the things that comes with these storms is a lot of times branches come down and then the power goes out. So just warning you in advance.
Yep.
All
right.
But don't worry about us. We're totally used to it. We've been through
not as bad as Florida,
dozens of these. Yeah, Florida's got even worse than we do.
Let's grab some questions. I was thinking about inspiring immigrant stories. And, John and I in our family, we went to Europe this summer, and we were on a train. We were on a train from Munich to Switzerland. And for a minute on that train, we were in Austria. And Austria is a very, very small country. Like, Austria, it popped up on your phone. Like, if you're traveling internationally, it pops up on your phone, your cell phone plan, that, oh, welcome to Austria. And then it was like, welcome to Switzerland. It was really short. And I was thinking, man, Arnold Schwarzenegger is from Austria. He has been a complete powerhouse here in the United States. And it was just inspiring to think about, I didn't really even know where Austria was or how big or small it was. I didn't think anything about it until we traveled there for a blip on the train.
I mean, in fairness to Austria, we didn't go across the entire country.
Right.
We kind of slipped over the corner, but still, it's not a huge country by any stretch.
Yeah, exactly. But I was just like, man, that is very, very impressive what Arnold Schwarzenegger did when he came to the United States and did all that he did. I didn't do any research. It's just something that popped in. There's just a kind of a lot to celebrate because it's Hispanic Heritage Month, the second week of Hispanic Heritage Month.
It is indeed.
And, shout out to all of our Latino friends, our Hispanic friends who helped us when we first opened our law firm in year 2000. And, specifically Augusto Razzi-Angelo, who is a good friend of ours. He's living in Mexico now. He's Peruvian American. And he certainly helped get our law firm started with his newspaper, El Echo. Every year we recognize Augusto because without Augusto,
Augusto, if you're out there somewhere,
yeah, thank you. We wouldn't be where we are today because when we opened up our law firm, we specifically set out to cater to the Latino community in our area because there was a complete void there of attorneys who could speak the language, and we could at the time. And we built our law firm around serving the Latino community. Now, of course, it's turned into much more than that, and we serve all communities, but that is where we started. So we have a very, very soft heart for our Latino friends and our past and current and future Latino clients. So shout out to you guys. Right. Thank you so much. We wouldn't be here without you.
We are definitely a international law firm today, but in the early days, Radlyn is absolutely correct. It was almost entirely Spanish speakers, and there were a few folks, including Augusto, who really helped us,
made it happen
in those early years. And we don't forget that. Trust us.
Okay. All right, let's grab some questions. And we don't have any questions here on our Facebook, but we do have a bunch of questions on TikTok.
Oh, by the way, if you want to reach us, our phone number is 757-464-9224. That's 757-464-9224. Or you can email us info@gmlaw.net. All right. So the very first person who popped up here on TikTok, I mean, literally, like, we were on air for maybe 15 seconds and a drizzle came on and wanted to know, will moving to Germany in military orders affect the K-1 visa process? We are waiting on an interview date.
It should not.
It should not.
It should not affect the process. I'm assuming that the U.S. citizen is moving to Germany. I mean, there are some logistical considerations. All right. Just to kind of, and this is why this is not legal advice, right? Just to kind of bare bones answer that question. If I move to Germany, I'm on military orders. I have an I-129F petition pending for my fiance. What's going to happen to that when I move to Germany? Now, one, you should certainly try to, change your address, right? And it sounds like they're in the National Visa Center phase. They've gone through that. And now they're just awaiting an interview at the fiance's, in the fiance's country, at the U.S. Embassy in the fiance's country. So it shouldn't impact the fact that now the petitioner lives in Germany. But as far as the process is concerned, your fiance is going to come into the United States on that fiance visa, within 90 days, you are going to have to get married. So I don't know when you're going to move to Germany, but if you're there now or if you're getting ready to go, then that's a logistical thing that needs to be worked out. How and when are you going to get married? Because you got to get married within 90 days of entering the United States. And then the other part of that is filing for adjustment of status after you get married and getting the green card. And depending, again, when are these orders, right? If you have orders, if they're going to be in 6 months or 8 months, then we have time to go ahead and get that advanced parole and the permission to travel. And so again, it doesn't impact just at first glance the process and getting that K1 approved necessarily, but logistically it could be problematic depending on when you go to Germany. So hopefully that helps. Whatever happens, you definitely make sure that you keep whoever is interviewing your fiance informed about any of the changes and letting them know that there's a change of address if those orders have already been executed. All right. Great question. And a drizzle, if you need help in navigating that, we're happy to schedule a strategy session with you to see what is the best way forward in this case, whether does it make sense to, well, I won't get more into it because I don't want to cause confusion. But yeah. So I have one question here.
Also, before we get to that, thank you for your service, by the way. For those of you who don't know, Virginia Beach is right next to Norfolk, Virginia. The whole area is called Hampton Roads, and this is definitely a military region. We have still the largest Navy base in the world here in Norfolk.
Yep, and that's why I'm here.
And so, that's right. And so
I met somebody from Portsmouth. He said, "What?" And I said, I was born in Portsmouth Naval Hospital." He's like, "You don't meet a lot of people born in Portsmouth." Like,
that's right.
You do if your dad was in the military. But
Radlyn's dad was in the Navy.
I was born in Portsmouth Naval Hospital and raised in Norfolk, but my dad was in the Navy. My parents are Filipino immigrants, and the military is why I'm here. So
yeah,
absolutely, hats off.
Because we're physically located here, we have a lot of clients. A lot of military clients as well. It's very common.
And friends.
Okay. Moving right along, we've got a question over here. Oh, CK said, "Good morning, ma'am and sir." Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for that. And we had a couple of highs over here. Elsa here on TikTok said, Hi, Elsa.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us, Elsa.
Thank you for the love, guys. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Okay.
All right. This is a good question. I may have spoken to CK on TikTok, or I don't know. This question comes up a lot. So CK says, "My interview is coming up soon, and I'm trying to look for my old passport, and I can't find it anymore. I have my 2 passports now, which is the other old one and new one. Will my case get a delay because of that?" So are we talking about interview for citizenship? Are we talking about interview for the green card? If you have your, let's see here. If you have your, let's say you're talking about it for citizenship, great. That makes it a lot easier. So CK's question is, I'm going to my citizenship interview, can't find one of my old passports. Is this going to cause a delay in my citizenship case? It should not cause a delay. So when during a naturalization interview, it's not super common for the immigration officer to ask for your old passports. They do ask for the old passports if they're trying to verify your travel, right? So you've put your travel days in and out of the United States, and they may go into your passport to look at the stamps if necessary. But if you've got this old passport and you can't find it anymore and they need it, you will have to just attest to the fact that you have lost the passport and you no longer have access to it. So, but it generally should not cause a delay in your citizenship unless they're trying to, again, verify your travel outside the United States. If you didn't travel during the time when you had that old passport, it probably will not come up. But hopefully that helps, CK.
Yep. Good luck, CK.
Our internet connection
Thanks for joining us.
unstable.
We
We have a little storm brewing out here, guys. For those of
Yeah.
you who missed that, but we're gonna weather through it. That is the entertainment part of this. Did you get my?
That's right.
Is that a pun? That's a good pun, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Weathering through it, of course. I mean, that's.
Sometimes when I do a pun, I don't know whether I got to go look up pun in the dictionary.
That's the Swedish server at the restaurant said that one time. That's the real stuff.
That's the real stuff.
The real stuff.
All right.
Okay, let's move back over here to TikTok. This next question, I read it already. I'm going to kind of like rephrase it a little bit because it's a little broken up. But the question basically is, this person submitted the I-130 on July 22nd, 2022, and received your case is taking longer than the expected time notice. And they want to know, what does that mean? How long will it be? Is this trouble? I'm sure they have all of those questions. Should I panic?
Right. So, I mean, let's just assume that Putri is filing. We're just gonna make some assumptions here. Let's just say that Putri is filing, or is the beneficiary of an I-130 filed by their spouse. Okay, who is a U.S. citizen. And that I-130 petition is taking longer than expected. What that means is you're going to have to wait longer, basically. I mean, bottom line. And the question is there anything that we can do about it? If it's outside of processing times, then you can make an inquiry with USCIS, case status inquiry. When you make that state case status inquiry, and you get no response back or nothing happens, you may think about taking congressional action if the case is outside of processing times and reaching out and for the petitioner, U.S. citizen spouse in this hypothetical case, to reach out to their local congressperson. It could be a congressperson, it could be the senator, and they have immigration assistance for when your case is outside of processing times. You want to find out what's going on. You need a passport. I mean, that is one of their functions, is to help their constituents with immigration issues. So if you have not yet joined our Live Love Immigration group, go to our Facebook group and join it. Pinned to the top are instructions on how to make an inquiry with your congressperson about your immigration case, which you have every right to do that. So good luck. Hopefully that helps. Our most recent 5-star review on Google, which was a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
I had a consultation, and it was an information only consultation. I don't normally do information only consultations because we want to help people who want an attorney to represent them. But the reason that I did this information only consultation, which we normally do not do, is because a friend asked me to do the info only consultation. It was a friend, and their friend was really struggling with their immigration case. And we met, and I was happy to meet with them again because it was a favor for a good friend of mine. And we had an hour-long conversation and got to the bottom of the real issue, which is I don't have a work permit. I've been waiting for this work permit. I really want, it's outside of processing times. It's been so long. My lawyer, and really having a difficult time with their attorney, answering their emails, answering their calls, communicating with them, even to the point of the lawyer's emails back to them were a little on the aggressive side, like, stop contacting me. Your case is still processing. There's nothing that I can do about it. And so I looked at the case processing time during this consultation regarding the work authorization application. It was outside of processing times, the posted processing times. I gave them the same information that I just gave you regarding your I-130 petition. And that's where the 5-star review came, as they made an inquiry with their congressperson, and their work authorization was approved 2 weeks later. And do you know how this changed this couple's outlook? When I met with this couple, they were just completely down in the dumps. And I was able to provide them with the information.
Super stressed, worried.
She had gotten turned down. She had gotten a job offer, which was a significant job offer. She had to turn it down because she didn't have work authorization. I don't really remember what the salary was, but I've seen our potential clients and our clients, they have to turn down job offers, an $80,000 job offer, $50,000 job offer, because they don't have work authorization, because USCIS hasn't processed it yet. So that's economic hardship. I mean, that's extreme economic hardship for this couple and for all couples out there who have to turn down these fairly lucrative job offers. And when are you going to have that offer again? Like, when are you going to have that opportunity? So, I'm glad you guys are here. For those of you who are, struggling with this, to go to our Live Love Immigration page and join it. And there's information there on how to make that. I mean, and this is kind of a long answer to that, but it's so important, because I don't want to do a consultation and the information I give you is the same information I'm giving you right here. Like I said, we did that as a favor. And I'm so happy that I did it, because we were able to help them, and it was a good result. It doesn't always work like that, but it just kind of happened to.
Yeah. And this sort of brings home the point that one of the real advantages of having an immigration lawyer like us or some other competent attorney represent you is it takes all of this off your plate. It's getting done correctly. We're the ones monitoring it. We're the ones that are following up. We're the ones letting you know what's going on. And if there is a problem that arises, we know what is a real problem and what is just a normal delay. And if there is a real problem, then obviously we would let you know. But we know how to identify those.
And I will say this, right? If you are looking for the cheapest legal fee, then you probably should not call us. I mean, if the price of legal services is the main thing that you are concerned about in your case, how much is it going to cost? How in your price shopping, don't call us, because we're not going to be your cheapest immigration law firm. And John and I, admittedly, we have been in that boat before, where we had too many clients. This is when we first started our law practice. In the first 5 years, we had way too many clients. We did not charge enough for our legal services. And you know what happened? We didn't call them back. We were like, oh my gosh, I mean, this case, I only charged X amount, and it's taking 2 years, and they're calling every 3 months for an update. They expect me to give them a call back. Yeah, you're their attorney. Right? And so when we hear facts like that, we know exactly what's happening, because we have been there before. Too many clients. You didn't charge enough and so you're like spreading it out. You're spreading the communication. Because you don't charge enough, you have too many clients, and you can't service them all. So
yeah, I mean, self-filing has its issues and stresses, but sometimes it even seems worse to me to hire just like a super low-end attorney, because then you feel like you've gotten an attorney to handle it, but then you just become super frustrated because they're never ever doing anything, and they're never contacting you. And then you have no idea what's ever going on, and you don't even have any of the stuff because they're the ones who did it, and that's almost worse sometimes. So.
This is just one of the worst cases of attorney communication that I've ever seen, where not only was the attorney not communicating, he was mad that the client wanted
when he was-
communication.
yeah.
So anyway, all right, off the soapbox. I don't
Yeah.
even know what the original question was now, but congressional liaison.
Well, you were talking about giving some help to a friend of a friend,
Yeah.
and yeah, okay,
And I just witnessed it firsthand again. And that's how we get clients. We get lawyers, clients who can't be bothered to communicate with their clients. And they're happy to pay us our fees because they
Yeah.
want to know what's going on in their case. These cases can take 3, 4, 5 years, guys. So make sure you like your client and they're clear about what they're charging you for. If they're charging you to file their case and then goodbye for the rest of your case and life, well, I would submit that that's not good enough and you're not going to be happy. All right.
right. You really do get what you pay for in this example. I mean, this
Yeah.
is so true. Okay. We've
This
got,
I think I'm over here.
yeah. Oh, okay.
CK, let us know if that was helpful to you. That the answer to that question.
I think that was over here. That was actually Putri, but thank you. Both of them.
Oh yes, both of you guys.
Okay.
Tara says, "Hi, it's been a year since my mother's petition got approved, but I still haven't received any updates from USCIS yet. What should I do? I am a US citizen. I thought it was only going to take a year or less."
Now.
This is good. This is a good one.
And for those of you who are doing any training of non-attorneys in your office, now I'm speaking to other lawyers out there. This is a classic training question because what should I do? That is a question that leads directly down the road of legal advice. And as I said at the outset here today, we cannot give legal advice to anyone other than our actual clients. So what we do here, for those of you who are late or came in late, is for informational and educational and entertainment purposes only. It is not legal advice. And we just had a training session the other day in our office about being careful about giving legal advice for the non-attorneys. And that was one of the questions that we talked about. What should I do? Okay.
All right.
So now that I've teed it all up with all those,
Tara,
those cautionary language, go ahead.
Yeah. What should you do? So let's start with, I thought it was only going to take a year or less. I don't know what country your mom lives in, Tara, but there is a very, very severe backlog for people who have approved I-130 petitions and they're ready to be interviewed, but there's just a major backlog for interviews right now across the country. I'm sorry, across the world. And so let's just say that your mom is living in the Philippines and you guys are Filipino. One of the worst backlogs is in Manila because of so many people who are trying to immigrate to the United States on an immigrant visa from the Philippines.
Philippines, she's confirmed there. Yep.
Yep. So you have your I-130 petition approved, right? But you don't have any updates from USCIS. So the update's not going to be coming from immigration. It's not going to be coming from USCIS. You should be expecting an update from the National Visa Center. So after your USCIS I-130 petition got approved, then you should have maybe 30 to 60 to 90 days later gotten notification from the National Visa Center for that part of the processing. So I'm a little bit concerned here because now we have no action with the National Visa Center for maybe a year. And you really need to communicate with National Visa Center in order to keep that case alive. And even when your case gets done, your mom's case gets done through the National Visa Center, you can expect to wait another year or so before she gets interviewed. So, Tara, I would, if I were you, what you should do is contact us so we can find out where your mom's case is and whether if it's at the National Visa Center we need to pay those fee bills. We need to interact with the National Visa Center so they don't close your case out and get that and have that petition revoked. So it never was going to take a year.
No.
Ever. But you not hearing anything, it makes me just extremely concerned, because that means you have not interacted with the National Visa Center and done what you have to do there in order to get your mom her immigrant visa. So our number is 757-464-9224. We would be happy to consult with you on this and help you get your mom over here.
All right.
Yep. All right. Next question. Tara, hopefully that's helpful. Let us know.
So coming back to TikTok, here's a question that we haven't had before, a little outside of the normal scope. Says, hello, can you share a bit on work-life balance as an immigration attorney?
Work-life balance. Yeah. So
well,
you jump in here.
I'm going to read between the lines and just start by saying, if you have been watching like a show like Suits on Netflix, which I love.
John loves Suits. We've never watched a lawyer show until Suits.
I love Suits. If you guys haven't seen Suits, it's an old show, but I love it.
He swears he loves Harvey Specter and not Meghan Merkel, right? He does swear that.
No,
he's pinky promised me
many times. So,
this is a good time for reintroduction. My name is Radlyn and John, and this is my husband and law partner, John Gardner.
We're being super weird. We're not being weird. We are married, and we also are law partners.
We have had our law firm for 23 years now. October is our 23rd anniversary of our law firm. We started in October of 2000, and our 25th wedding anniversary is creeping up. Not creeping up. That seems like a negative.
That's not a negative.
Creeping.
Coming up.
You know what it means? It means when you say creeping up, when you're the person saying creeping up, my anniversary is creeping up, that means you don't have a present for your spouse yet.
Fast approaching. We already made a deal about presents. Okay.
No presents. That's right. That's right.
So, I bring up Suits because I'm assuming the question is coming from like somebody who maybe is thinking, I want to maybe become an immigration lawyer, but does that mean that I get to work at 5 a.m. and I get home at 11 p.m. like they do on Suits?
Sometimes.
The answer is sometimes, but usually not. So work-life balance, it's really up to you. If you're an immigration attorney, it's in your control how much work-life balance you have, really. And I will tell you that it's gotten a lot easier, I think, for many attorneys to find good work-life balance because of the just all the innovation with technology and more people working remotely, things like Zoom. Just the world is very different than it was 23 years ago when we started our law firm. Then, you had to basically be in your office all day and picking up the phone all day and all those things. And it's really evolved quite a bit. So you can have great work-life balance.
But it has to be a choice.
But it has to be your choice. That's right. You got to make it happen. It won't happen. If you don't make it happen, then yes, you will find yourself just doing what we were doing for the first 10 or 15 years, which was working ridiculous hours. And
yeah, that's right.
It was a struggle and a grind for many years.
Yeah.
Not going to lie. Okay.
Yep.
I hope that answers your question.
Listen, this is Moya.
This is Mowgli.
Mowgli. Okay. If you're thinking about being an attorney or thinking about going to law school or already an attorney, we'd be happy to talk to you. And there are also there's a lot more support out there as far as law firm management groups. And there's tons of information out there on how to achieve exactly what you want out of your law firm, out of your law practice if you work for a company. And there's so much, but the bottom line, as John said, you have to design it yourself.
Yeah, you have to have a vision at the outset, because you're not going to ever get to where you're trying to go if you don't know where it is you're trying to go. So it's like being on a ship. You got to know the destination before you set sail.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Let's see here. Ben. Ben says, what is that?
It is like an old ice cream truck or something with a clown
balloon
face.
Oh, clown face.
Maybe
Yes.
an
What is that, Ben?
a clown rocket from an old fair or something. Not sure. Either somebody's going to get shot out of that thing or it's just a decoration.
We like to look at the thumbnails, the thumbnail photos. Okay.
Okay, Ben, sorry.
My fiance filed a K-1 visa October 2022, but the last time we met, I'm sorry, October 2022, but the last time we met was January of 2020. We put our reason why we didn't meet because we have a son with her in the United States that cannot travel yet because of COVID at that time. Okay. So they met January of 2020 and filed.
There's a little extra there. I don't know if that has anything to do with it.
Is there any chance of approval? They're going to deny the case. Okay. And they filed it October of 2022. So outside of the 2-year period. Am I right doing that calculation, right? So the 2-year period would have been January of 2022. Should have filed it of January 2022, but they filed it in October, January. So yes, you're outside of the 2-year period. So, I mean, there is a waiver for that. And the question back that I have is, did you ask for a waiver of that 2-year period? That reason that she had a son or they had a son and couldn't travel because of COVID, I don't know if that's going to fly. And if you filed it in October of 2022, so we're almost a year in, you are almost a year in. So you will be hearing back fairly soon. It's about 16 and a half months now. I don't know if they're going to deny the case or approve the case, Ben. I would have to look at the whole package to see what you all filed. But looking at the timing that you filed it, there is a chance that they could deny that fiance visa. So the question that you have is what am I going to do about it? Right? Should you guys see each other? Should you get married? Should you, there are different things that you might want to think about doing. Don't give up because it might be denied, but definitely try to plan for what you want to do next. And we can help you with that planning, of course. Hopefully that helps, Ben. Let us know.
Yeah. Good luck, Ben. And let us know if you get a chance, what's up with with that like retired ice cream truck with the scary clown.
I love ice cream trucks.
All right. Moya was next up over here on.
Thanks for following, Moya.
On TikTok, yeah. She says, how long does it take to get a work permit and travel permit after filing for VAWA?
Yes. So after filing for VAWA, and you concurrently filed your I-485, your green card application, generally it's taking about 10 to 12 months to get work permit and advanced parole. Moya, hopefully that helps.
Yep. And for those of you who are not familiar, VAWA is Violence Against Women's Act. It doesn't only apply to women, by the way.
Yes.
It's called VAWA, but it could be the VAMA as well.
Men can apply under VAWA.
Yep.
Okay, so Robin says, my case I-485 EB3 was transferred to the Norfolk field office on last November. So, and still waiting for interview schedule. The processing time shows 40 months. Yeah, so Robin, if your case was transferred to Norfolk, I mean, we would have to take a look at the visa bulletin and see what your priority date is and when they might be getting to that. So I'm not sure if I think the question is probably when are they going to interview me? And it really does depend on the visa bulletin. Okay.
All right. Good luck.
Good luck.
And if you need help, like Radlyn said, be sure to give us a call, reach out to us. We'd be happy to schedule an appointment to talk to you. Okay. Looks like the weather is still holding off. we keep looking out there for those of you who joined us a little bit later. We're under a tropical storm, possibly hurricane watch right now here in Virginia Beach, which is pretty common in the fall. If you live in the mid-Atlantic, you get used to hurricane season. It happens once a year, hurricane season.
Yep.
Okay. Bean wants to know, is waiting for an EAD receipt for 8 months under VAWA category C9 unusual?
That seems a little long. I mean, a receipt usually takes 2 to 3, let's just say 2 to 3 weeks, 60 days, 30 days. I mean, yes, that is unusual.
Let's see here. Oh, and yeah, sorry. Bean was talking to Moya. They were having their own side conversation.
Yes, awesome.
Which is great.
I love the community.
Yeah,
join our Live Love Immigration group, and guys talk on there. Okay, it's long. 8 months to get a receipt is too long. Got to make sure that it didn't get lost or something else may have happened to it, that it was actually filed. Yeah. All right. Jocelyn, Mendoza, and Daniel. Hi, attorneys. I have a question regarding my child. I'm not really sure if I indicated him as a to-be followed child. I would like to open his case, but I don't know how to start. Do you have an estimated cost if I let you handle my case? So, Jocelyn, it sounds like maybe you don't know whether you listed your child and whether he's going to be able to do follow to join if you did not list him. So I think that's what you're asking. And the other question is, how much is it going to cost to do your case? So Jocelyn, I invite you to make an appointment with our office to schedule a consultation. So a consultation like yours would be $295. We have two different types of consultation. One is $295, and the other is a strategy session, which is $725, and that's normally for people who want to explore their immigration options and to get legal advice on the best route to pursue, primarily in cases that are employment-based or if someone's been deported, so more complicated issues. But here, Jocelyn, I invite you to call our office to schedule an appointment so we can take a look at the facts of your case and then give you an estimate on how much that's going to cost. So we do not quote legal fees over the phone. So if you call our office and they say, hey, how much is it going to cost? They can't tell you. They're not allowed to tell you. And the reason is because we have no idea what kind of case you have. Even though it may seem at first like this is totally cookie cutter, I'm just trying to bring my kid over. Well, it wouldn't be fair to you for our person answering the phone or for us to say, oh, it's going to be X amount of dollars, because we don't know. Every case is different. And we have to work on a case based on your particular facts, the particular facts of your case. Every case is different. Every fact pattern is different. There are no two cases that are exactly alike as far as the facts are concerned.
That's right. So
there's no way that I would be able to quote you a fee over the phone or our intake person over the phone or even on our live stream here. So we would have to have a conversation. I would have to take a look at what was filed for you. And, if you didn't put your child on your application, do we have a material misrepresentation situation here that could negatively impact your case? So there's a lot going on here, even though it seems fairly, this is a follow to join case. And so we would have to meet and talk, and I'm happy to do that with you.
Right. One of the ways that we have a high success rate is by making sure that, we dig deep in the facts and then that we craft the best strategy so that when we start out, we're assured of success at the end.
Yeah.
That's the whole goal. of how we approach things. All right. Yeah, and it does seem like, it might feel like they're the reality is that just they're not, you go to Shake Shack, the Shack Burger, every time you order, they can tell you what it's going to cost because it's the same thing every time. But immigration cases just aren't like that.
Yeah, legal cases.
No matter what. Yeah,
Legal
any
cases
legal
are.
case for that matter.
Divorces.
A divorce, a criminal charge, anything. Anyway, that's the reason, in case you're wondering, like, gosh, that shouldn't be that hard. I mean, it's a marriage adjustment. Just tell me, how much do you charge? You got to call us, okay? Okay, Elsa, who's over here on TikTok, wants to know, she said, we filed the I-130 in June of 2020, and still heard nothing. Should we refile?
So nothing at all? Like, not even a receipt? Come on, Elsa, tell us that you got a receipt at least.
That's over 3 years.
Yeah. I mean, and who did you file it for? And so this is a great question because
could be in the cave.
There's who did Elsa file the petition for? If Elsa is the petitioner, is she a U.S. citizen or is she a lawful permanent resident? Did Elsa get a receipt notice? These are really important questions, and the answer is going to be different depending on what the answers are. My answer is going to be different depending on what Elsa's answers are. So that's just so wide open. Should she refile? I will answer that question. You definitely shouldn't refile unless you find out, if you have a receipt, then no, you shouldn't refile. If you don't have a receipt, that my answer might be different, but we'd have to we would want to investigate that first, because why? When you file your I-130 petition, that in June of 2020, that is your priority date. Your priority date from 3 years ago is far more valuable than a new petition filed today, right? Depending on who you file, you've just lost 3 years in your case, depending on who you filed for. So you got to investigate. You can't just refile and forget 3 years.
Yeah, these filing dates matter because, like Radlyn just said, that the clock is ticking. And that's the other reason why we always encourage people to, if you're thinking about filing something, to call us sooner rather than later, because you want to get moving as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Elsa, I get a question like that. And, it's also like the mom where she hasn't heard anything for a year. And I just get concerned, because time is time away from your family member. Time is that time that you're missing in being in the United States with your family member. Maybe it's even money because you're traveling back and forth to, say, the Philippines to visit your family member. It's money because your family member could be in the United States earning an income that they would not be able to earn maybe in a third world country if that's where they're from. So there are a lot of different factors. Primarily, it's not being able to be with your family member or your loved one as soon as you want to be with your family member and your loved one, because time is precious and time with family is precious. Yes, we can talk about the money and the opportunity cost of losing that income that you're losing, but mostly it's your family members being in the United States with you and, fulfilling that dream that your family member is going to be in the United States with you and having a life here together with your family member, whoever that family member is. So do not just throw away 3 years. I can't stress that enough. Okay.
Okay. Did you want to grab one over here, or you want to take this? Looks like this is a follow-up question from CK.
Charlene says, looking forward to meeting you guys on my appointment. We look forward to meeting you too.
Absolutely.
All right. CK says, for citizenship interview, like you have mentioned earlier, that they might need to verify the dates. Vacation outside the United States, I listed on my N400. is it going to be a problem if the IO noticed that my passport didn't get stamped when I arrived in the Philippines? And also, I don't have my emails or boarding pass for that missing stamp anymore. So the bigger, I mean, they didn't stamp going back to the Philippines, not necessarily, but it's more of like, did they stamp you coming back in? And I see what you're saying, right? You're saying, hey, there's no stamp of my arriving in the Philippines. And so I did put this date down, and how are they going to track that? And da 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 da. You're going to have to, basically, part of your naturalization interview is you're testifying, right? It's your testimony. It's your statements, your sworn statements that, yes, these are the dates that I went. I mean, they're going to have to just believe you if you don't have the proof of it. And if you are, I mean, if you're, the issue, I think it would be more important is if you were almost outside of the United States, if you were outside of the United States for more than the time, a period of time, in order to, qualify for naturalization. So, have you been outside of the United States where it's like your hair eligible for naturalization because you've traveled abroad so much? So that's when it's really going to be critical to have the documentation. But if you're talking about you went to the Philippines for 30, 60, 90 days and they didn't stamp it when you arrived, and so please believe me, it's just not going to be that down to the wire. But part of your statements, that when you answer these questions from the immigration officer, you are testifying. This is a sworn, interview where you're swearing to tell the truth. So
Yeah.
hopefully, CK, we're not talking about, oh, I have 1 day in the United States, which makes me eligible for U.S. citizenship. If that trip you were not out of the United States for, over 6 months, over a year, just stop worrying about it. I can tell you're really, really concerned about it. If it is down to the 1-2 day wire, then yeah, I can see why you're concerned.
And just as a side broader note, just, Miss Radlyn is talking about, telling the truth. I mean, misrepresentation is a bad move, just in any immigration case. Okay. Please, I don't know the name, HC Mesa wants to know, please explain the process for an undocumented spouse, okay, of a resident who entered illegally. So are they both? I guess they're both.
Well, the spouse is spouse is a permanent resident of the United States.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm reading that.
Yeah, it could go both ways, but it only makes sense your way. If they're both undocumented, then we got nothing. But yeah, okay, sorry.
Okay, question is, I'm a lawful permanent resident. My spouse entered, quote unquote, illegally, entered without inspection into the United States and was not inspected, right? What can we do? What is the process in order to get that spouse who entered without inspection a permanent residency in the United States? So I'll go through the process of provisional waiver, assuming they don't apply for any of the other processes that allow that undocumented spouse to do what's called adjustment of status, where they don't have to leave the United States. So provisional waiver is a process in which a person who has overstayed in the United States can file a stateside waiver to basically forgive the time that they lived in the United States unlawfully without permission. Okay. And the very first step of that process, provisional waiver, is for the permanent resident spouse or the U.S. citizen spouse to file the I-130 petition. the petition for alien relative. USCIS once USCIS will approve that case. Right now, it's taking over a couple of years. So file that I-130 petition, get it in the cooker, right? Get your priority date, file the I-130 petition. USCIS will approve that after a couple of years. We then go to the National Visa Center and pay the fee bills at the National Visa Center and inform the National Visa Center that our client is pursuing provisional waiver. Then proceed to file the waiver, which is based on extreme hardship to the lawful permanent resident spouse or the U.S. citizen spouse. File the waiver. Waivers are taking 44 months right now. It's unbelievable. So wait for USCIS to approve the provisional waiver, and then your spouse who's undocumented will be scheduled for an interview in their country. Go to that interview and then come back on an immigrant visa. That is, in a very, very quick nutshell, how one would legalize the status of their undocumented spouse if married to a lawful permanent resident of the United States. Now, there are some exceptions there. I'm not going to get into them, where possibly they might be eligible for adjustment of status here in the United States without having to leave the country. But those are, I'm not going to say rare. It happens, but I'll say rare.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And so, Maripopo, you were up next. You would have a similar, but without the waiver stuff. All right.
Right.
Maripopo wants to know how to do adjustment of status, except person is here, quote unquote, legally.
Right. So if you're a lawful permanent resident and you're talking about doing adjustment of status for your spouse legally, there is a cutoff date now for the spouses of lawful permanent residents. So that's something to look at. If you are a U.S. citizen, then you potentially could file for adjustment of status for your spouse. And that process, I do have some TikTok videos about that process if you want to see all the steps and all the applications that you have to file for an immediate relative of a U.S. citizen, which would be the parent, spouse, or unmarried child under the age of 21 of a U.S. citizen.
Okay, and just to be clear, Maripopo, I see when you said legally as the second part, I thought you meant that the person was here, quote unquote, legally. But now I realize you meant how do you get them to stay here legally? So you would be the same as the other, the one that Radlyn was just talking about. All right, for the waiver.
All right.
Does that make sense? Maripopo, I hope just listen to the answer to the question right before yours. It's going to be exactly your situation. Okay. All right. Do we have anything else over here?
So CK says, thank you so much. It's only 2 months long vacation. All right. Well, that's good. It shouldn't be a problem then. Do you want to grab another question? We did hop on a couple minutes late.
Yeah, we got let's say 2 more minutes here. Chris wanted to know, he says, why is my fiance visa taking so long to be reviewed? I was told I won't hear anything until June of 2024.
June of 2024. Yep. Hi, Krista. How are you? Fiance visa petitions are taking 16 and a half months. So yeah, it's taken a really long time.
All right. Drizzle checked in back later. He was the very first question. The orders are for 36 months in Germany, leaving in the next few weeks.
Yeah, I mean, logistically, it's going to potentially cause some issues there, where we'd have to get some documents expedited and.
Yeah, sorry,
yeah,
Drizzle.
it's
unlucky timing right there.
Yep. Give us a call, Drizzle. We'll figure it out, and we will find the best way forward on how to make sure, that that goes as smoothly as possible.
All right.
Okay. I think we are good here. If you want to.
You want to take one more here? Or are we out of time? And we're 3 minutes over now.
Let's take another one.
One last one here. All right. This is Christian Gonzalez. My I-130 was approved in August, but not my I-485. They sent me an RFE for medical. I'll be married 2 years.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, will I get my 10-year green card?
The silver lining of USCIS taking so long is that possibly by the time they approve your green card application, you will have been married for 2 years. And the silver lining is when they approve your case and it's after your 2-year wedding anniversary, you will be granted the 10-year card. Yay. Hooray!
Oh,
yay for the RFE.
Yeah. Sorry, Kristen. I said Christian. I see closer here. It's Christian.
Christian.
So yes, that's great.
Christian Gonzalez.
And Christine Gonzalez just got the #1 gifter badge. Awesome.
Yay.
Okay, gang.
Because Christian is so happy. He is going to get his 10-year green card as opposed to the 2-year green card. And man, I'm telling you, it is worth it. It is worth the wait. It is worth the wait sometimes because the I-751 and removing those conditions, everybody here who has filed an I-751 to remove the conditions on their 2-year lawful permanent residency card can attest to the fact it is a super pain and it's taking like 4 years. So
that's right. Sometimes life just works out like that.
Yes, it's definitely good news. Noticias buenas. We'll leave with a Spanish phrase.
Okay.
Because it's Hispanic Heritage Month.
All right, everyone. We will see you next Friday.
Same
time.
So much fun. Thank you guys for your attention and your awesome questions. Yeah. High five, guys. Thanks for the love. Thanks for the gifts. Appreciate it.
Everybody over on TikTok.
Follow us on the socials, guys. We'd love to see you on.
We'll see you next week. All right.
Next week. Bye.